Imagine working hard every day, only for your boss to laugh in your face while pocketing your paycheck. That was my reality at 22 years old. But when he thought he could ruin me, I turned the tables and got him dragged out of the shop like a thief in front of everyone. If you've ever been screwed over by a boss, this story is going to hit deep. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. I was 22 years old, working at a small auto shop. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. Or at least, it was supposed to. That's when the company brought in a new supervisor. Let's call him C. From the moment he walked in, you could feel the energy shift. He had this permanent scowl, like everyone was beneath him. Customers hated him. He snapped at them, cut corners, and treated his employees like dirt. And me, I was his favorite punching bag. At first, I told myself, just keep your head down. Do the work. Collect the paycheck. But then the paycheck stopped. Not once. Not twice. 2 full pay periods vanished. And when I asked him about it, he smirked, leaned back in his chair, and said, "What are you gonna do? Complain? Good luck finding another job." The room spun. My chest tightened. That paycheck wasn't pocket change. It was rent, food, survival. And he knew it. One evening, while I was closing up, I overheard C bragging to one of his buddies. His voice carried from the office. "Man, these suckers don't even notice. I just roll the odometers back, slap a new title on, boom, instant profit. Easiest money I've ever made." My stomach dropped. Rolling back odometers? That's not just shady, it's flat out illegal. Customers were paying thousands for cars that weren't what they thought. And suddenly it clicked. The missing paychecks, the arrogance, the constant mistreatment. This guy wasn't just a jerk, he was a criminal. So I made a choice. If he was going to keep treating me like I was disposable, I was going to become the one thing he couldn't ignore. His reckoning. From that day on, every time I saw something suspicious, I documented it. Fake bills and receipts, sketchy title transfers, notes of his behavior with customers. I kept everything neat, organized, and dated. 3 months of quiet, careful detective work. My hands shook sometimes, terrified he'd catch me snooping. But every page I filed felt like a small taste of power returning. Then the hammer dropped. One afternoon, he called me into his office. No warning, no explanation, just that smug grin. "You're done here. Get out. And don't even think about your missing paychecks. Consider it a lesson." I walked out shaking, not from fear this time, but from the sheer fury boiling inside me. That was his mistake. He thought firing me was the end. But it was just the beginning. Now here's the thing. The shop wasn't owned by C. The real owner, let's call him Mr. D, had his main office across town. He only came by occasionally, dropping off snacks, sometimes buying us pizza, checking the books. Mr. D was one of the few genuinely decent people in this industry. The kind of guy who remembered your birthday. And I knew he had no idea what C was up to. So I walked into his office, my folder tucked under my arm like a weapon. I laid it all out. The missing paychecks, the forged receipts, the customer complaints, and then the odometer fraud. For a long moment, he just stared at me. His jaw tightened, his knuckles whitened on the desk. Finally, he said, "I promise you 2 things. You'll get your job back, and this will be handled. But give me time. I need to investigate properly." It was all I needed to hear. 2 weeks later, I got the call. "Come down to the shop," Mr. D said. His tone was calm, but there was an edge to it. When I arrived, the atmosphere was electric. Customers had been contacted, notes had been taken, and the truth was out. Then it happened. Mr. D stormed in with a couple of bouncer-looking guys flanking him. They marched straight to C, who was lounging in the office chair like he owned the place. The confrontation was fast, brutal, and oh so satisfying. 1 second, C was puffing his chest, trying to talk his way out. The next, he was grabbed by the collar, dragged across the floor, and shoved out the front door. His face, God, I'll never forget it. That arrogant smirk wiped clean, replaced with the look of a dog caught stealing food from the table. Humiliated, small, powerless, and me, standing in the shop, watching justice finally slam down like a hammer. C never came back. Word spread fast, and the shop felt lighter. For the first time in months, people laughed during work. Customers came in smiling again. One of my coworkers stepped up as supervisor, and he turned out to be everything C wasn't. Fair, respectful, easy to work with. And me, I got my job back, and every stolen paycheck was paid in full. We used to joke about that whole era, the dark days under C. But underneath the laughter, there was always this quiet pride. Because I hadn't just survived. I'd fought back, and I'd won. I'll never forget the sight of him being dragged out, his face twisted in humiliation. That was the moment I knew, no matter how powerless someone makes you feel, there's always a way to fight back. You just have to be smart enough and patient enough. Since then, I've lived by one simple motto: do no harm but take no SHD. And trust me, life's a lot better that way. Asterisk. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more stories where justice always finds its way.